G'day scrappers. Today I'm just heading off to my PC buyer. So I've got a van load of all kinds of things to sell to him. Obviously PCs that are good to refurbish, laptops, and a whole heap of other little things, monitors as well. So yeah, I'll give you a little look at another recycler, and we'll just have a look at the operation, a little bit of how the other side of eWaste recycling works, where I am a predominantly end-of-life recycler. I recycle obviously end-of-life IT equipment, but obviously there's quite a lot of stuff that I pick up that still has another potential life to continue on. And so my buyer, he's also an eWaste recycler, but he focuses basically on refurbishing and on selling stuff. So we're a little bit different. They're not a processor like me, like where my end-of-life stuff, I dismantle it and scrap them out for the circuit boards and other commodities. He probably passes on the stuff that he can't refurbish onto other recyclers, including a little bit to me occasionally. I'd like to get a bit more, but I don't often get to see him, so if I was closer to him, I'd probably arrange a better system. If I had a factory, obviously I could do it a little bit better, but this is the way I chose to do my business, and he's chose to go the other way and go for the refurbishment, which is probably obviously a lot more lucrative business. Well, when I say lucrative, it's at least profitable enough where he can employ people and have a factory and stuff like that, where for me, I just chose to go one way, just a one-man band, and do it that way. So I need buyers to take on my good stuff, so I can continue on and have enough room to keep bringing stuff in. Because I don't have a factory, I don't have the storage facilities that the refurbish type of recyclers do, like a factory. So because it is a big commitment and a big investment when you want to go that way and have a factory and staff. You also got to have things like forklifts and racking systems, and it's a big commitment, and I'm not at that stage where I want to sort of commit. I decided if I did it, say, like 6 years ago, that would be a different story. Like by now I'd probably just be managing the factory, but yeah, I just didn't want to commit, so I'm happy doing exactly what I'm doing. So now let's just go and meet me buyer, and we'll spend time unloading my van, going through the laptops and items, and he'll price stuff for me, and then might do a little tour around the sections in his factory where he sets up reformats and so on, laptops and PCs, a little repair section, and yeah, we'll play it by ear, see what I can show you. And obviously it's someone else's business, so I'm not going to sort of go around and just show the whole thing. I've got to sort of be mindful of their privacy as well, because there's a lot of e-waste recyclers out there, and you don't want to, I'm sure that he doesn't want to show too much of his operation or the stock levels or whatever is going on, because yeah, it's business is business. So let's get there and make a start. Okay, so I'm here at my buyer's, and I'm just waiting for him to get ready. They're just keyboards. So, hey.
What's happening?
You know.
Full bodysuit.
Hey?
Full bodysuit.
What do you mean?
Oh, the GoPro looks like a full bodysuit.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Bit daunting when I...
Your back?
Huh?
Have you hurt your back?
No.
No? Okay. I saw you like leaning down as you...
It's just
the proper way, yeah.
early in the morning. Trying to... So I think these are all... There's a couple of different variations of i3. So
yep.
You got the one.
And then what's the other one?
Not sure. Hello. It's like smaller. Not as many PCs as I thought.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he said about 90 or 100, but I think through next year. They all look the same, don't they?
Yeah, so far all of them have been the same.
Yeah. Okay, so these are a couple of different.
Yep.
I've got about 50 or 60 keyboards. Not sure if you're interested. Huh? Yeah, they're all just one. They're all aces from these.
Yep.
So not sure if you're interested in them.
I can take them.
Yeah.
Shit, did I bring enough money?
I don't think so.
Oh,
you're going to need probably 10.
Drive with you on the way back to my place. Sorry. It's on the way home, bud.
All right, yeah. Okay, so that's all I can get to at the moment.
Yep.
We'll do some laptops and...
Okay, should I grab some boxes or something?
monitors. Just got some empty boxes. Put a few in the back just so they so things don't fall back. Okay. So this is his yard anyway. The factory's in behind that door there. It's a completely different weird setup because that part of the factory is leased out to other companies, but he uses a little bit. Yeah, he's got a big one in there, but this is his main yard, and it looks like containers for stuff that are shipped overseas, the good stuff, and pretty clean yard. Yeah. All right. So how we're going to do this? I'll give you. That any good?
Yeah, definitely. So 22-inch monitor.
22.
24. Sorry.
24.
Yep.
Okay.
Maybe I can unload it and you can write down what I'm unloading.
Okay.
Yep. How about that?
Yeah, sure. There's quite a bit.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I might start with.
Yeah, just do.
4 months. So.
Yeah, we'll just. Yeah, I can help you then.
19.
Get rid of that. Okay. Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep. Not up. Up, down, up, down.
Yeah, that's probably a better idea. Yeah. Yep, you got it. You're onto something.
Yeah.
There we go. Thank you, sir.
One's a smaller one.
It's always so much easier to pack than unpack.
Yeah, absolutely. This big projector any good to you? The big Sharp?
It's a bit big. Looks a bit ugly.
The printer any good?
I could throw it in my bin. That's about it.
Okay.
Yeah, like it's a recycling bin, but yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I found someone to buy HP printers.
Oh yeah?
But even then, I don't want to store them and palletize them because they're so heavy and awkward and hard to palletize.
Yeah.
It's not even worth keeping, you know, to sell for the $10 or whatever that I get for it.
Yeah, I get the same problem. That's with everything for me. Just this big one, any good?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. The bigger the better.
What's that, about 32?
27 actually. It looks bigger, doesn't it?
Yeah. Alright. I know, these look like the common ones.
I remember in the video, I believe one or two of them had a sticker. Or not?
You mean?
As in saying what it was inside?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you looked?
Yeah, so far I haven't seen stickers. Oh, here we go. I got one. Okay, so this one is a Pentium Gold.
Oh.
I actually haven't come across Pentium Gold.
Okay, where's that at in the
I'm,
scheme of things?
to be honest, it's got a broken screen, but I'm not sure. I'll actually have to look this up for you.
Okay.
Because yeah, I'm not sure on that one. Another Pentium Gold. Missing key, there it is. Okay, no. But that's alright. No worries, I'll have to look that one up. This one,
Okay.
they're usually an i5 4th gen. i5 4th gen, yep, that's correct. So I can do say 80 on this.
Okay.
So 80. 2
Think-
times 3 times 4 times 6 7 broken screen. So that one, if we can do for say $15 on that one. i3, missing battery, and it's a bit bent. I'll do $10 on that one. This one, key miss, otherwise it's fine. I'll do $100 on that one. And that one, Thank you. So yeah, that will be the same as the other one.
See?
Oh. That's an i5 second or third generation. I would have lost heavily on that. I can do $70. Sorry, matey. Yeah.
Oh, the last one was 10, yeah? That one was 10.
10, yes, that's
Yeah,
correct.
yeah.
Yeah, sorry, yes. This one, I can do 50 on.
Okay. This is block A.
Oh, these look nice, don't they?
Yeah. I bring you the good stuff, mate.
Alrighty. Oh, okay. i3 second or third, but it's touchscreen. I'll go $50 on it. So that's 50. 50. Oh, this one looks better.
Yeah.
i3 4th gen. Oh, okay. i3. I can do 1 second. I can do about say 70 on that. Yeah. If it was a 5, it would be better. That one is the 6th generation. I'll do 110 on that. i5 4th, I can do say 90 on that one. Pentium, I can do $30 on that. I think that's another Pentium, so that's another 30. And then Pentium, so 30. That one is a 50.
You want to put them back in this?
Yes, that's a good thinking.
It's just one tight box. I might do better. That's a gamer. It's a crapper, but it's a good gamer.
Looks it.
Not sure the exact specs. Oh, another. Give us the.
Which one? Oh, there. That. Yep.
Yep.
There you go.
750 or something.
Yeah. Yeah, looks like today's going to be a good payday.
Yep.
Good payday for you.
Okay. All right. We'll get dispatched done. Huh?
Yep. Maybe just something. Okay. Yep.
So yeah, I think they're all going to be.
Should I just grab them while I'm here or no?
I'll go around the side and
All right. Done.
we'll get there.
That's it. All right. I might grab this box.
Yep.
Okay. Let's start here. i3 demolished. I'll say $5. Sorry on that. Yep. Keep going. We got i5 second. I will do say 40 on that one.
40.
And we have an i5 third or fourth.
So that's just an iPad docking station to charge up iPads. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, so these are the computers that came in the last 2 weeks.
2 weeks. Wow.
Yeah, it's been a busy 2 weeks. And then that's all the all-in-ones that came in the last 2 weeks.
Just 2 weeks.
Yeah, 2 weeks.
That's where all my work's going. Wow. 2 weeks. See, in 2 weeks, I couldn't obviously store all these, you know. So
Yeah, no, at one point I actually had to have 3 drivers. Yeah, I did
okay.
12 schools in one day.
12 in one day?
Yeah, 12 in one
Like
day.
high schools or?
A mix.
Mix?
Real mix, yeah.
So mine as well.
And then this will be the testing stations, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so this is a new area for
Yeah,
testing, yeah?
Haven't set it up fully, but yeah. And then Gets palletized. So we don't actually even test core 2 duos.
Okay, so they're just
count them, and then it's the I series that we test, and we get all the details of the RAM and the thingy. If we need to wipe them, we definitely wipe them. Yeah.
And that's it, and then that's ready to go out to.
Yeah. So this will eventually go in a container.
Okay.
And 40 of these kind of pallets fit in a container.
Wow.
Yeah, and then I'll show you the monitors.
And so the container ends up on the ocean somewhere.
In Dubai.
Dubai
At the moment. Yeah.
Okay. I'm surprised that people in Dubai would buy used equipment.
Well, Dubai is very similar like Singapore. It's just the hub. From there, it actually will go to other countries. Yeah, but there's not much tax and stuff in Dubai for shipping. So yeah, so basically when we test monitors,
wow,
we end up packing them.
Yep.
Take the stands off, and you'll get roughly about 100 monitors per one of these boxes. And
yep.
again, this is the same height as those desktop pallets, and roughly about 40 of these will fit in a container.
Wow.
We'll have what sizes are on there. And
beautiful. I mean, it's great that it's all getting reused rather than just scrapped out and, like the other big recyclers. They just throw it through machines and scrap it all out,
Yeah, well, I mean, they call that recycling, but in my eyes,
it's
like
reusing. Yeah, reusing is what it's all about.
Because I mean, they've got to, use energy just to destroy it and then make a little bit of plastic and metal out of it.
That's right. Yeah.
And then it has to be remade, whereas this is still usable equipment.
That's it. Yes, because I mean, I deal with end of life stuff, so it's stuff that can't be sent anywhere else. So I process it and get the circuit boards and that. But this is where it's at.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on the customer. Some don't want it reused. For those, we have to definitely destroy it.
Yeah.
But if they don't mind, then we definitely reuse it where we can.
Beautiful.
Alrighty.
Awesome. So you're doing good for the planet, mate. People are going to love you. Should get a Nobel Peace Prize, for environmental protection. All right.
Actually not charging. Might have to take another one or two. Alright, let's have a look. So
yeah, so they definitely
we have to find out if they're locked or not. They will contact the network. And if it goes through here, then it's all good. This is going to come up 3 times.
Oh,
it's all good.
Yeah. And the little ones like that. It's all from the same tech, so he's redone every one of them.
Okay.
So, no, they're good. It's the real deal.
Yep, this one's all good. Yep. I will just check these ones.
Yep.
Taking 2 for now.
Yep. Yeah, with the iPads, guys, there's a big difference between a locked iPad and an unlocked iPad as far as value. They can't do much with the locked ones. They're mostly used for I think the motherboards or the chips in them, and parts like screens, keyboards, batteries, things like that. And obviously the main objective is to not just recycle them in a scrapping sense, but it's to and going for the circuit boards and chips. It's all about repurposing, and that's what this guy is all about. As we were discussing, you might have heard, it's a nice Dell i7.
separate these two into two piles. One with undamaged screen.
Okay, yeah, good idea.
Yeah.
That makes a difference too. Obviously, a damaged screen, it's it gets treated like one that's locked.
Not necessarily, because there's actually two screens on here, right? So there's one which is the LCD itself, and then there's one which is the digitizer part. So the digitizer part is not that expensive to replace.
Okay.
It's if the internal screen is damaged. But,
okay.
But yeah.
Okay. You want these keyboards?
Yeah, they're Surface Pro keyboards actually.
Yeah, you can have them. Oh, and I got you.
CPU. Oh yes, stickers, nice. And coloured, nice.
Yeah, nicely bright, and so you can label your pallets and stuff.
Beautiful.
Oh, this box here is a cream box, mate. This is where all the good stuff is. Yeah, definitely. That's what I said. You're going to need, before you're going to bring a trailer with your money, or an armor guard truck. And here's a little. I just kept one for myself, just in case my PC conks out. I can access internet. Okay, that's that. These are the ones that John West rejected. Not every laptop is sellable. These are just scrap. Don't even know why I put them in. Okay.
Was this box already packed like this?
Yeah.
Oh, they did well. You know what they did? They put all the iPad 2s and 3s at the bottom and a few better ones at the top.
Oh, okay. Probably as they went.
Of course. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. There. So I might just count them as I'm putting them back in.
Okay.
That's right. So we got 2, 4. These are the second and third. Sorry, like the older type.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's 4.
How do you know the difference?
By the charger. So
Oh, okay.
that's.
Oh, the little charge. Yeah.
And then that's
Oh, okay.
2 or
Well,
3.
that's nice to know.
Yeah. That's 6, 8. Everything on these 2 piles is that. 10.
Hey, mate. How are you?
4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, 32, 33 of the iPad 2s and 3s, 16, 18, 20, 22.
So if I had 1,000 of them, it still wouldn't make a difference. You'd still take them all.
Yeah, I'd still take them. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 25.
25?
Yep, and
they're the 15s?
yeah, correct. Hold on, 26, sorry.
26.
And these I might just... This one I can do...
Okay. So we're getting there, guys. Still got to go through the PCs, but most of them are... Oh, they're all i3s. They're 2nd gen, and there's a few 4th gen. their stuff rejected, just laptops. They're basically just scrap laptops anyway, but I thought I'd bring him just in case he wanted them. Yeah, just got some more iPads to go through. This is all the laptops. These were cool, the Dells. Monitors. Okay, Surface Pros. So 128 Surface Pros are i3s.
Not always, but yep, generally i3.
256s,
i5
i5s or possibly
i7.
i7.
Yep.
And 528.
512.
512 is
i7 definitely.
Definitely i7. Okay.
Oh, and we got to do the desktop.
Yep. Okay. Well, just did some RAM and CPUs. There were quite a lot of 4 gig server RAMs, and he mentioned there's a little R to distinguish it as a server. Server RAM is a totally different ball game. Really, the value in server RAM is 16 gigs and above, unfortunately, but still 4 gig, they're still worth a little bit better than scrap value, you know, so yeah, wow. So projectors and monitors, a lot of iPads. These were really nice. The HP Elites, and what was better were the Surface Pros. Really nice, good value, good money resale on them. All right. Gold band crystals. It's a big back pane board. Nothing on that end. There's some not bad gold pins on there. These are pretty good. So might have the opportunity to buy that stuff. Some interesting big rectifier. Just got a power board there. Power board. There's a nice Nortel Networks box. It's a power unit. Nortel is really good. Unless they're power boxes, then yeah. Oh yeah, this one's got, oh yeah, just it's still a power unit. Okay. So whilst it looks like it possibly could have been something awesome, they're basically power boxes, but there might be some good stuff in there. Big fans, and there's a whole heap of circuit boards there. So if I take them, I've got to take them all out of the bags and stuff and then sort them into their grades, but looks like there's some high grade stuff there. So this is what I was saying about this kind of stuff here. Obviously is not a sellable items. This is just end of life stuff. So, you know, I get to take a little bit of this occasionally. He does have many buyers for this kind of stuff, but this is good, but it's a lot of work to actually sort it all out because they're all in packaging and stuff. So it does take a lot of time, but it's just something I do in my spare time, and I get a bit of value out of it. Mostly for me, it's all about picking items out of it for gold recovery and then on selling the boards. And so I generally pay whatever I can get for the boards, minus, you know, my labor and stuff. So yeah, it works out good for both. See you, laptops. Okay, so these are obviously just mid-grade boards. Some have got a central chip, but most of them are all just empty. So they're only mid-grade, but they're, looks like, oh yes, some laptop motherboards. Could get value from that. And it looks like might be some better boards like that. Obviously just got to see anything with when I'm picking up from here with boards and stuff is that, you know, I've got to remove all the batteries, and you know, it does take a lot of time, but it still gives me the opportunity to depopulate stuff if I want to and get some extra value that way. So some of this stuff, it's only mostly power board stuff, but it'll still give me something to scrap. That'll be okay. Yeah, for the start of the year. Yeah, so that's pretty much empty. We'll have a power board there. It does have a back plane. But it's pretty much, this is just kind of rubbish, but still throw some in scrap metal. These rectifiers, a heat, kind of like a heatsink, irony alley, but it does have a power board. So, oh well, he's offered them to me, so I might as well take them. I don't want to take just reasonably good stuff and leave junk, you know. So if he wants to get rid of it, I'll take it, you know. Still, give me something to do. These are awesome fans. Nice aluminium casing. I'll just take them. They don't have much monetary value, but I just like them. Just to have a bit of fun with stuff, oddball stuff that I don't normally get myself. Yeah, just power boards. If I can fit them. Oh, this looks like a UPS. Yeah, because he's kind of put these aside for me in case I wanted them. So beggars can't be choosers, you know. You just grab it. I mean, obviously this doesn't just come free. I'm trying to get value for him as well, to offset some of the stuff that he buys with me. So, oh well, I'll take it because for the same reason. Don't want to leave him with absolute rubbish. But oh well, see. So there's a server board. I've still got to take it off the base, but I'll put them with the other boards I get off him. And that way, the next time I come with boards, we can, you know, reduce the, next time I come with laptops, I'll say, okay, well, from that stuff that I picked up off you, you got X amount, and that offsets, you know, his cost on stuff that he can actually resell and make a bit on. So it's a win-win for both parties. This is like it's like an honesty box, you see. So I take it, and the idea is to pay a reasonable price, you know, to give him some back, because his driver still had to go and pick all this up. You know, you can't always just pick up stuff that you actually want, so it's got to pay for that too. This VCR isn't complying. Okay, so see, this sort of stuff's good. I like this. You get a good board out of it. That's just a cover. There we go. Nice power boards. So it kills two birds with one stone. So I'm here selling my stuff, and yeah. Okay. Power boards. Nothing really. They look like they got boards or something. Actually, probably gone a little bit too high. I don't want them sliding through the window. I have to fix that. One more. Okay. Looks like a couple of nice boards in there at least. Gosh. See, all this stuff is just end of life. All that we can really do with it is just scrap it out. Sort of like CB radios or something. is my third pallet load. Just putting a few things in the front. A lot of these Motorola transceivers. Just trying to save a bit of room for circuit boards and stuff. Yeah. Okay. Well, a lot of this looks good. We'll both get some value out of this. Geez. Little mid-grades. Oh, where do I start? There's a nice ceramic ICs. Good gold fingers. So some of this stuff is higher grade, you know. So good value. Goodness. It's going to take quite a while to unload in an orderly manner. Check that out, and that's over a cubic metre of boards. Whew. Unbelievable. Probably should have put gloves on. Probably should have got a trailer. He's just put this tub of cable and stuff. Whew. But I don't think I'm going to fit. I suppose once the cable goes on top, it's going to actually hold down, so it's not going to slide. But I reckon I'll be struggling just to get this tub in. And this is the one I kind of wouldn't mind having. See, like that. It's really hard for this to go as a mid-grade board because of all this dead weight. But there are some good chips on there and stuff, so we can bring it down to a low grade. Yeah. Just a lot of small stuff. That's a nice board. Does have a little battery. Always got to sort of keep an eye on them and remove them. But it's a high grade board. Obviously, it's got a lot of fingers. They're not the best fingers. They're okay. But it's a higher grade board. So yeah, server grade, telecom. But yeah, I was just saying to him, you know, like, even though people selling him stuff is, you know, important to him, I was just saying that, you know, geez, having a place to actually sell to and fair prices is more valuable to me. So he's more valuable to me than I am to him. Well, it's debatable. Obviously, he makes his profit on the laptops and so on, and also helps his supplier, his buyers, because he's obviously got buyers of reconditioned computers. So he's not just about making money either. He's, you know, he enjoys the fact that he's helping other people make a bit of money too, and that's great. You know, it's what makes the whole IT game go around. See, like that board, it looks impressive, but it does have some chips to remove, but it's only really a low grade board after that. Sometimes I get guys bringing me boards and they think that they're spectacular, but they're not always as good as they kind of look. So this stuff is very similar to the stuff that I took away last time, just more of it. Oh, that is going to take some work, and obviously my prices that I pay for boards are a little bit lower in this case because my prices are based on boards delivered to me, and so obviously this is a lot more time consuming because I got to load up and then I got to bring it back and unload it, and before I can weigh it, and so but I still try and be fair and reasonable, right? And as I said, these are what I call honesty boxes. He's honest with his prices. Sometimes he might underpay for something, and he'll let me know and say, hey, look, I actually got a little bit more. So, you know, next time I owe you X amount. But at the same time, sometimes he does overpay for certain items, thinking that they might be in better condition than they turn out to be. And so sometimes I have to accept that too, that he may have paid $50 for one series of iPads, and it turns out they were all locked and he couldn't do nothing with them. So, I mean, no one can afford to lose a lot of money. So it's only fair that it works both ways. Okay, that one's done. I'll keep going. How's that? Certainly packing it. Yeah, I'll be able to get the cable on top, but I just want to clear off the boards if I can. Hard drives. Yeah, things like this, as good as they are, I mean, mostly probably because there could be a CPU under there, but otherwise, you know, I've got to take it out of all this, so it takes time. I'd love to be able to just take it back and weigh it and say that's how much there was, but we've got 4 different grading, as well as things like hard drives. And before I can grade it, I need to sort of get it to clean, to sellable state. And that's what takes time. So, you know, this could take me 2, maybe even 3 weeks before I can actually know how much, what's here, how much it weighs, what it's worth, how much I owe him, kind of thing. Try to do it as quick as possible, but you know, with other jobs coming in all the time, see, I can't use this van until I actually empty this out, and I can't just empty it out and throw it aside. I've got to actually sort it as I go and clean it up and then put it away properly into the selling boards or into the depopulating area. So it takes time, but it's time well spent, because this is good stuff, and for my gold recovery. A lot of components, especially like gold band crystal oscillators, things that I like. It's all good. Almost there, guys. Okay, so those 2 board boxes are done. Still a little bit here. Wouldn't mind that. Okay, I might see if I can get some of this cable in here. Wow. Okay, I think I'll close the side doors. Wow, looking good. And I'm just going to throw cable over the top just to add about another 3 days of emptying the van. But yeah, I even pay for the cable. Okay, so and that one's done. I've taken out some hard drives here. There's not a great deal here. I might go through if I've got some room, but anything that he can use, I can't. Keyboards. Normally, when I used to pick up a lot of cable from this place, I used to have, always brought side cutters, but I just happened to not have side cutters in the van today. And it helps when you're unloading cable because it all tangles up, as you know, and it can be really hard to grab decent amounts. And okay, but smaller ones like this sort of stuff, easy. Yeah, the only problem is tangles. I used to actually bring my tubs here, leave my tubs, but I don't get much cable from here anymore. But it used to be a lot easier when I could just bring an empty tub and wheel it in and wheel out the full ones and process it when I got back. Yeah. This might be a little bit too hard. Yeah, these monitor cables, they can always be trouble. They always hook up. All right, well that's it guys. I'm all loaded up, ready to go. Nice bunch of cables on top. So let's get back and start processing. Okay, well, how was that? What a mission that was. It actually took a little bit longer than I expected. I knew it was going to take a while, but geez, I must have been there for a few hours. A lot of little things to go through, you know, a lot of the laptops to go through, and like the PCs are relatively easy. You just they were all almost all of them were identical, so you can just count them up, you know, whereas the laptops kind of you got to go through virtually every one because you've got to look for certain things that are missing. For instance, if it's been opened up and has RAM missing, has a battery missing, is the screen, which is quite important. If the screen's cracked, it makes a big difference. Yeah, and even the iPads and stuff like that, it makes a big difference whether they're locked or unlocked. So there were some really nice iPads there. About 8 or 9 of them that were actually really good, expensive ones, but it turned out they were locked. So I got like 20% of the value compared to if they were unlocked. So it makes a big difference, and oh well, that's just how it is. But it turned out probably my biggest, or definitely my biggest sale there by far. Geez, what was it? It was close. It was around $15,000 worth of IT stuff sold there today. So that's, you know, pretty good money, and you know, I believe that he'll probably, there's about 5,000 profit in it for him, maybe 5 to 7 or something like that. So I mean, but obviously I've picked it all up and I've put in the work and all that, and with my clientele. So as I mentioned, you know, it's not just a free pickup. I've spent 7 years building up what clientele I've got in advertising and all that. So you know, it's not necessarily all free, and quite a bit of time into it. And same for him. it's not just easy money for him either, because he's got to go through everyone, test it, reformat them, make sure that they're all working. He has actual testing stations for different kinds of equipment where he can load up like 6 or 8 laptops at a time and do the whole system configuration and testing all in one go. It's got programs to do that, so but still, you know, he needs to have staff and so on to do all that, and then he's got to then sell it to his buyers or wherever they go. A lot of the laptops, he was telling me that they actually, most of his laptops and iPads, or his iPads, stay in Australia. Laptops, I'm not really sure. Some might go overseas, others are repurposed here in Australia. But as you saw in that one section of his warehouse where showed a whole heap of pallets of PCs and big boxes full of monitors, he was saying that they mostly go to Dubai, and he's saying not necessarily to be sold in Dubai, but it's like a central kind of dispatch country like Singapore, where things will then, you know, be sorted and go to various clientele around the world, probably, you know, Europe, Asia, you know, wherever. So that's the difference I was saying from the start of the video, when I was saying that I'm a recycler that deals mostly in end-of-life electronics. So anything that I can on-sell to either this buyer or a couple of other smaller buyers that like to buy specific things, I will, and they will get repurposed. And then what can't be repurposed, you know, obviously what else do you do with them? So at least I dismantle them and get the commodities out of them, the circuit boards and the metals and the plastics and everything that can be recycled goes to the appropriate places. So, you know, nothing really goes in landfill, and so that's my side of recycling. And this guy's side of recycling is repurposing. That's his idea. You know, reuse, you know, recycle, reuse, and repurpose, or whatever the 3 R's are. So that's his sort of idea of, and his, you know, what he means by recycling is, yeah, we don't want to just smash everything up and just take out the precious metals and the plastics and metals and so on. You know, we want to see if they can go back into the community and actually and go again. And in some cases, in some countries, it could be 5 or 10 years some of this stuff can still go for, you know, and then eventually they'll go to people like me that will dismantle them, or to very large recycling companies that will shred it all up and take out all the precious metals and so on, and all the base metals and everything. So, you know, I really like his style of recycling, and it's the best part, because even when I do schools, and he does a lot of schools, probably got half of my schools, but you know, a lot of the schools don't really even want their stuff to be treated as end of life right now, because they feel that, oh, there's still some use there. So that's why he gets a lot of those kind of jobs, because he's not going to just put them through a shredder and go for the precious metals. He's going to actually spend time and you know, bring them back to perfectly working condition, and then put them back onto the market. And so it's a beautiful little circle. And yeah, so that's the two sides of eWaste recycling. My side, I'm a small fry, so, but that's basically an idea. Give you an idea of what I do, and my side of the eWaste recycling and the repurposing side. Now obviously on my side of recycling there are much bigger levels, like my board buyer. He's a much bigger version of me, although he probably also on-sells, well, just like I do, things that are just too good to totally destroy and recover metals. He'd probably resell, but generally he's processing to end of life electronics, and a lot of his clients don't want their stuff repurposed because he's dealing with bigger companies, like actual computer companies. They don't want their old stuff put back onto the market, most likely because they want to sell new stuff. But he also does government organizations, he does military organizations, so they obviously want their stuff completely destroyed, and it's almost like in a secretive way. So I don't even, when I'm there, I don't get to see that. If I do happen to see something that's high-end military, I certainly wouldn't show a video of it or anything, because it's all top secret and that kind of thing. So but they pay for that service, they pay for him to destroy. But this guy, he's got a great operation, and it's amazing the things that he can buy and sell, and amazing his knowledge. He can look at something and say, oh yeah, that's an i3 Gen 2, that's an i5 4th Gen. He's got a really sharp eye, and he knows his stuff. He knows what can sell, and that. It's quite amazing. If I had that knowledge, I'd probably do the same as him, but for me, I'd have to sit and research every single item that I got. It would just take hours and hours, and it just wouldn't be viable for me, and I don't have the space. He's got like 3 quite large warehouse spaces in amongst that. You only saw really just a small section of one, but so he's got a much bigger operation, and he can stack stuff up onto pallet racks sky high, and store it until he's got the right amounts to send to his buyer or the country that wants it. And like I said, a lot of those monitors and all that, they all go to Dubai at the moment. I was quite surprised. So because I said to him, I wouldn't have thought people in Dubai would want to be buying reconditioned IT equipment. I thought most of them could afford to buy brand new stuff and top of the range. But yeah, he said it's more like a distribution hub, and from there it goes wherever it's got to go. So awesome. So all that stuff that I sold, that'll probably, it's going to go into good hands. Anything that he couldn't is too old or unrepairable, like you saw that bunch of laptops that I put back in, that's all just scrap laptops. If he can't do anything with it, even pay $5 for it, then it's just scrap. So that's just how it goes. Oh goodness, yeah. So I'm back now. My battery went flat as usual while I was driving, so I obviously did spend a lot of time there because I went through 3 batteries. As you could see, quite an amazing drop off and quite an amazing pickup at the same time, and just sort of really loaded it up. A lot of cable to process. That's going to be quite time consuming, so I'm just going to have to tomorrow just throw all the cable into a couple of bins and just leave it until I've got time. I'll weigh it up, and so what I'll do is I just weigh it up because it's still got the plugs, and obviously, and a lot of things need to be taken off, like mice and stuff. So I just weigh it up as low grade wire, and and so I pay a portion of the low grade value back, and obviously all the circuit boards. There are some good circuit boards I got a bunch of these kind from the last pickup I got off him. Yeah, some of these are okay. Some have a ram stick or two, and some pretty good boards. Obviously, they've still got everything like batteries and things we have to remove before I can sort of weigh them up and grade them and get a value for him. But yeah, it's a kind of win-win. He gets value for stuff he may otherwise not. He's also helping me out by giving me a little bit of extra work, because I'm nowhere near as busy as him, obviously. Like you probably saw all the PCs and stuff, like that whole row of, you know, double pallet rows of PCs, you know, that was just what he picked up in 2 weeks. My gosh. Yeah, so that's why I didn't sort of try and go too big in my small business, is because I don't have the space to grow that big, and I didn't want to get a factory or anything to have to deal in e-waste on that level. Good luck to him. I'm just happy to do my little thing, and like I said, what I brought him, the laptops, PCs, monitors and bits and pieces. I also brought him some RAM, good RAM like 4 gig RAM, etc., CPUs, things like that. But yeah, there was about $15,000 in sale, so looking forward to getting that. He'll probably just deposit it into the bank or something like that. Yeah, so you know, that's going to be a nice start of the year boost to the business account. And yeah, and then yeah, double bonus is, you know, just loading up the van. I did get a lot of that first stuff that you saw, the power supplies and all that. It's pretty low value. It's mostly scrap metal, but there are some good items where there's some good boards. So what I do is when I remove the boards, I'll just add them to these boards. So yeah, and all that'll happen is the next time I go in and bring in my laptops and so on, he'll just take off the value of the stuff that I got from him today, and that's how we sort of go around. Not always I get a full load. Sometimes it used to be very regular. I mentioned I used to have tubs at his place, but I don't have the tubs there anymore, and so he sort of he has quite a few different guys that he gives this kind of stuff to, sells it. So yeah, so oh well, he's at least he's good enough to give me a bit of a load when I do get down there. And so, like I said, out of the stuff that I sold him, he's going to make a decent whack out of as well. And so it's a win-win for me. A lot of the things like the PCs, can you imagine me trying to sell them on eBay and then spending the time, you know, testing everyone, making sure they're all okay and so on, and it's just too much for a one-man band, whereas he's got the facilities to do all that. So it's awesome for me because, hey, when I first started recycling e-waste, I was scrapping out a lot of the newer PCs that could have been on-sold. So, you know, it's not a huge amount of money per PC, but it's a lot more than scrap, and it certainly adds up when you've got volumes. So yeah, great day, a big payday, and yeah, hope that was a bit of fun for you. I couldn't show as much as I wanted to in as far as his operation goes, because he was partially closed down. No staff were there. It was just me and him. Normally he's got 5 or 6 guys running around doing things, so you know, but yeah, so the lights were off in most of the factory, and so I thought, oh well, that's okay. I'm getting the main job done. That is, we spent quite a few hours going through all the laptops, and then, you know, I probably spent another hour or so loading up the van again. So I'm too tired to start unloading, so I'm just going to leave this to tomorrow. But yeah, just once again, it's just another aspect of my small business, just to show you guys that are interested in recycling e-waste in your country, wherever you are in the world. Well, this is what it's kind of about. It's a mixture of things. It's picking up, it's scrapping out, processing stuff, it's on selling, it's more picking up and processing. And you know, for those of you that understand e-waste and that, and you know, as far as, you know, cutting the plugs off and that, it's time consuming, and especially if the cable is all tangled up, it just takes a long time, and then you got cable in plastic and so on that you got to dispose of. So you know, it all adds up in time, and you know, to like for him to pay one of his workers to do that, it's just not worth it, because this is, you know, cutting cords and cables. It's a low end side of the business, and most e-waste recyclers, they just throw all this into one bin and sell it as low grade, and that's all they do, because you know, anyone that's employing someone just doesn't have the it's just not worth paying someone to be cutting plugs off and processing low grade stuff like that. They just throw it all in. I know with my other buyer, they do the same thing. They just throw it all into a big bin, and the scrapyard picks it up, and that's it. But for me, a smaller, you know, recycler, I might go for a week without doing a pickup at all. So this sort of at least gives me a little bit of work to do. And yeah, and some of the boards, as I said, were great. Things like this, they look great, but they do have some chips, but a lot of transformers, and so there is a lot of dead weight. But there are things that I can pick off for my own precious metal recovery one day, and then, you know, like take a few ICs and then throw it in low grade. So it's just a matter of balancing out and working out what grade to pay this at. And as I mentioned, when I'm buying boards like this, where I'm actually picking it up, loading my van, bringing it here, unloading it, weighing it up, it's a lot of work in between. So obviously I don't pay exactly what I would pay if another scrapper would bring me the boards ready to go, and so they're unloading from their car, and it's just straight on the scales, weigh, pay, see you later. It's, you know, like, as you could imagine, it's a bit like a scrapyard going somewhere and picking up all their scrap metal and then sorting it out. You know, no scrapyard would do that, sort out their metals and so on, and then still pay them top dollar. You know, there would be a quite a considerable difference in price, whereas my price isn't that much lower. I still pay a fair price because you know, because, well, with this guy in particular, I want to, you know, I try and make sure that I get him the best value as I can, because I want this stuff continuously, you know, and so if he's not getting much value from me, then he's going to just pass it on to someone else. So, you know, in cases like this, you can see there's some ram sticks, so I take all that into account when I'm grading boards. There's probably a CPU under here. It might be, yeah, it looks like it's a onboard CPU, so that's a bit different, but nonetheless, this I would grade as a high telecom grade, and yeah, and that way he should do well out of boards like this. But yeah, there you go, guys. I'm gonna go in and have something to eat now, and enjoy the rest of the night, and yeah, get onto this tomorrow, and yeah, really get stuck into it and try and get this processed as quick as I can to at least give him his price, and then I can just continue on and processing things like depopulating boards that I want to pick stuff off and things like that, and then they'll go to my other buyer, my board buyer. So I hope that was fun. Yeah, like I said, it would have been nice to show you more of his operation, but they're a business, you know, and they're partially closed, but you know, there's only so much that I probably would have been able to show you anyway, because you know it's just not right to go in the heart of the business and show what other businesses are doing. If it was my business, you'd know about it inside and out. But you know, these Nortel boxes, you know, I reckon there's going to be a nice board in there. So you know, I normally don't buy complete items, but in this case, you know, I do spend the time, take the board out, get rid of the plastic and all that, and then put the boards in with the boards that I'm buying off him. And yeah, so I sort of give a little bit more in this kind of case. But normally with other scrappers that sell me boards, if you bring boards to me, not only they've got to be prepared and cleaned and steel taken off and batteries taken out and so on, but they're also got to be graded in area, because it's all time. And if I'm spending an extra hour or two sorting out your boards, well, that's an hour or two that I could have been processing my own stuff. So, you know, time is precious in this game especially. So keep scrapping, guys, have fun, and have a great new year. This will probably be the last video before for this year anyway, and so I'll catch you through next year, and hopefully we'll do some street scrapping, have a bit of fun out there, and yeah, so look after yourselves, and I'll catch you then.